It's before my time, but one of Cas's promotions, they ranged from throwing chickens off the roof of his buildings to I guess one of the most extreme was hiring this guy he called Digger Odell.
Digger Odell.
Digger Odell did this everywhere. I mean, he was a professional, whatever you want, burial guy. I mean, he was always getting buried. He did it in different places.
He went from town to town. He would sell this notion to usually a local grocer, and he would then be buried, and there was a pipe that ran down from, I don't know how deep the hole actually was, and he could either get air, but then he said you could also pour soup down it.
Of course, he had bathroom facilities in there. I mean, it was a special made coffin that he had, but he was laying in a coffin. He was literally in a coffin. He had a phone that people could call him and things like that.
Buried him alive. It was the promotion. See how long he could stay down there.
They put asphalt over the top. They sealed him in. Of course, it was that because he had a glass window that you could look down in there, and it had lights down in there.
It brought tons of people. Some maybe didn't shop, just to see what was going on, but while you're there in the parking lot, you might as well buy some of his groceries, which was his intent, obviously.
He kind of needed some air, so I think it was Westinghouse or GE that Cas went to and got him an air conditioner, and he charged GE or Westinghouse to say that he was, I mean, it wasn't nothing. I mean, Cas always making money. Everything he done was for money. And so he would charge to say he's been cooled by Westinghouse or something like that.
Cas was always doing that. He gave away free ponies all through the years. And he was fun. He was like a carny guy. He made hard work fun, look fun. He entertained people, yet he was a businessman. And that was a genius. Digger Odell was part of that.
It was an attraction that Cas came up with to draw people, and it did. The parking lot would be full.
I went to see Digger Odell one night. I read all this hype and saw it on Cas's TV show. So I motored out on Chapman Highway just to see Digger Odell, and sure enough, there was this man down on the ground in this hole that had been dug, and I think there might have been a glass top on it, and I think air was pumped in there and all of that. It really wasn't such a big deal. It was hyped to the heavens, but when you got there, it was kind of disappointing. It's just a guy in a hole in the ground. I mean, it was no big deal. But I wasted my gas going on Chapman Highway to see it.
He's told me he had a written contract, and it specified a certain number of days, he's supposed to stay underground. And at some point, they had a tube, coming out for air and where he could yell, and I guess they could yell back at him. And he had started getting claustrophobic or something started happening.
He wanted to be dug up. Cas said, I ain't going to dig him up. He's bringing too much business in, So finally, and they had a nurse that would go over there and check his vitals and everything,
Cas told me he got a bunch of his girls that worked checkout and whatever for his store, and bought some white nurses' outfits and put them in nurses' outfits and had them out there running around like it was really heightening up the tension. Something's going to happen. This guy's going to die in Cas's parking lot. But he kept him down there some additional time before he finally let him out.
He decided he'd been there long enough and wanted to come up, and Walker said, no, you haven't finished the contract. And they sold tons of groceries. But when they brought him up, it was the same time that President Eisenhower was coming to the railroad station, and apparently there were more people in that parking lot to see Digger Odell be exhumed than were actually at the Southern Railway Station.